that group wave is really exhilarating for us.
It's not the same with one person waving.
So Corinne and I are both in Vail today, and we're really super excited to hear what you guys have been coming up with. Is the audio okay?
Someone seems to be
Seems to cut out a little bit. It's getting a little bit, but it's...
Can you hear us?
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you fine. Is it only my end that's getting reverb?
No, I'm picking that up too.
Are you still that signal? I can start another Hangout and resend a new link.
We're just taking a minute to see because we're getting a little bit of cutout, so we're just going to see if we can quickly fix the solution. Hopefully the call doesn't drop. Okay. We might drop out for just a second while we fix this and we plug in a wire.
Corinne, are you heard from me?
I think it's coming from the classroom.
Okay.
We're using as a mic right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know.
We're unaware of our mic source.
But one thing that might affect it is whether or not we're connected or on the Wi-Fi. So we're gonna.
Do we have any new members today?
Members?
Yeah.
I believe so. Same team that we met with last week.
Do you call yourselves a team?
Yeah.
I'd say so. We're all working together to make the best work we can, so I'd say that's team worthy.
So we might drop out and then hopefully drop back in.
Perfect.
Let's see what happens here.
They look kind of frozen right now, right?
Yeah, they're probably refreshing it.
Yeah. So no race today. The race got canceled.
Yeah, so I guess that's good that I couldn't go up.
Right? But I found some killer new terrain in Beaver Creek.
What? Where?
Do you know when we were skiing?
The one that almost killed us?
Yeah. Right? And she kept saying, you guys should go over to that area. I went over to that area today. Oh my God, it's so amazing.
Wait, what area?
That lift in between Birds of Prey and Larkspur. There's another lift.
Grouse?
Rocks, major cliffs, steep trees. Awesome.
Are you talking about Grouse Mountain?
Can you see us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you still getting feedback?
No, I think it's better now.
Okay.
So, I guess I'm in the hot seat. I'm supposed to be sitting there. So our students put together some scripts, and we evaluated. How many did we do? 11?
Yeah, we have evaluated about 11 as a group. We did some internal scoring, and we picked a few that we found that meet kind of the expectations that you outlined the most. So those are the ones that we would recommend, but we'd like to share all of them with you just in case you find certain ideas or certain, maybe you like something that we didn't think of as strong, but you might find it really good. So if you give me half a minute, then I will email them to you, and then probably I would let the students who created them read it for you and answer any questions. second.
So who chooses who gets to be on the screen? Is it just like when somebody talks?
Whoever's louder.
I do because I started.
Oh, okay.
Mostly we guys.
So this is Studio B. I don't know if you can tell, but we have a surround sound setup in here. We can mix theoretically in surround sound. Well, actually, I've never done it.
We don't have Pro Tools HD in here. We can't.
But
Oh, Evan was calling us because. Yeah, not in Pro Tools.
So what's your typical process? How do you guys work together? There's audio, video, graphics.
and hold on. I think our own sound is causing interference.
Yeah, I hear myself.
Cancellation.
Well, it hears itself, and then it thinks that we're trying to talk.
So it dumps it.
So in the meantime, I sent you the script in an email.
I'm searching through my filters now.
I haven't.
I don't have yes.
I just got something.
Did you? Okay.
So yours is probably coming.
There it is. Oh my goodness. Okay. We probably should have done our homework before we spoke today. Darn it. This looks fantastic.
So 3 of the files say recommended, and those 3 would be our recommendations based on our internal discussion. So I suppose we should maybe go over those 3 first.
Okay.
So can you hear us fine? Do you
Yes.
want another sound check?
We can hear you fine.
You guys can hear her?
Yeah.
So just have her out of my computer speakers. Hopefully that kills the weird ducking.
Okay. Which one would you like to start with? I see 3 files that are recommended.
Yeah, so the 3 files that are recommended, one of them has a JF in the title.
Okay.
So start with that. And whoever's explaining this script,
Hot seat.
let's see.
Driver's seat.
Hi, so my name's Jimmy Ferrando. I remember last time we had spoke, I had concept of how humans are related or how they're connected through nature. And after our meeting, I ended up changing it to more of a superhero kind of thing. So basically my concept is that TEDxVail is a superhero that has the powers to make important environmental changes for the better. So in my script, I thought about creating a superhero kind of animation. So in scene 1, Red X, which is going to be basically like a person, right? And he has like arms sticking out from like the middle of his body. It's like a giant red X. He's eating breakfast at his dining table while reading the newspaper. And then in the next scene, the camera goes over his shoulder, allowing the audience to see the headlines of the various newspaper articles. And he's flipping through them, and they describe environmental changes, the call to recycle, and the decline of certain species. The camera changes to a close-up shot of the X, and he puts down the paper slightly, and he looks up, realizing, he needs to take action. So in the next scene, he opens the door to one of his closet, and hanging is a domino like superhero mask. And I don't know if you've seen Pixar's The Incredibles, but it's like that. It's like a black, it goes over the eyes, black mask. So he sees that, and then his cape is hanging. And then in the next scene, he's standing on top of his apartment complex, on the edge, and he's standing in like in a heroic position, sort of like this with his legs spread, you know. And then he crouches and flies away. And then it cuts to another scene where there's a lone polar bear trapped on a small block of ice, and he's like stranded in the middle of the Arctic Ocean. And he's in trouble, and he looks up, and appearing is this silhouette of the red X, you know, flying towards him. And then it cuts to the next scene, and the red X is flying, you know, with his arms out, and he's carrying the polar bear on his back, and the polar bear is like licking him as he's like flying. And then it cuts to another scene where the red X is installing a solar panel on the roof of a home, and he has the same outfit, but he's wearing like a tool belt. And then it cuts to another scene where the red X is standing behind 3 recycle bins, and he has like a glass bottle and a plastic bottle, and he's like deciding which one to put in which bin. And in the next scene, he's at a conference giving a global climate presentation. He points something out on the slide, and then the audience starts clapping. You can hear like cheering, and then there's like flash photography depicted. After that, it cuts to the next scene where he's again reading the newspaper without his domino mask and cape, and it says, "Masked X superhero saves global environmental problems." And then the final scene is him again on a different building, in the same pose as he was before, standing heroically, but he's standing next to a TED sign, and the camera is zooming out, and the screen is fading to white, while keeping TED and the X in focus. And while the screen fades, his arms fade, and then finally it reveals the TEDx posted by the affiliated group. And then that's pretty much it. And then through the whole scenes where he's like saving the environment and the species, there's like a fast-paced music playing. And then when he's standing in his heroic positions, there's like a type of heroic music that's flaming, that ready to take action.
Fun, creative.
Yeah.
See, we're both smiling.
That's awesome. So, do you have any input on, maybe some changes I could make to that, or things you like, things you don't like? Would be really helpful.
How do you see the storyline playing out? I guess, like, what is the breakdown as far as timing goes? Is there a longer build-up? Is in the middle section when he's doing all of these things? Are they just trying to picture how that works? Does he flash through the different segments, like 2-second segments?
Yeah. So the aspects where he's, taking all these actions are going to be fairly quick. And the beginning, where up until he takes off, is going to be a little bit longer, and that's gonna all those quick scenes are going to be augmented with the fast-paced music.
Okay.
And then I think the last 2 scenes are going to be slowed down some more, giving a nice easy feel out of the animation. Does that help?
Yeah, I mean, the way the storyline works, it reminds me a lot of what our speakers go through. I don't know if they're necessarily reading a newspaper when their idea comes up, but I see them developing it, and I see them taking action, and then I also see them as a speaker on the stage.
I guess this animation would be more appealed to like the younger audience. And I was thinking of keeping it sort of like a 2D kind of feel, like a 2D animation, while having like maybe a sort of comic book style with like a lot of bright colors.
Bright colors are always appealing to the eye, right?
Yeah.
And so Corinne and I are both female, so I'm wondering, is it possible to change the he, red X, to a shiro?
Yes.
Can you tell what gender an X is?
XY is male.
Why not? Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, that's really a great idea, Jimmy. We love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else, Corinne?
Not at the moment. It seems like more comic book appealing to you. Yeah, I like that. Because I think that'll appeal to the younger crowd that we hopefully launch this to, the TEDx Youth event.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I don't know why we're talking.
We support him as a student.
Great.
There's another recommended. I think that was. That's to be
Here,
Tyler.
I don't think Julie said it was.
So next one. John, Joey, and Paul.
Yeah, sure. I'll take the hot seat. Hello, my name is John. I'm presenting on behalf of my other two team members, Paul Maburu and Joseph.
I'll just sit back here.
And the script is the recommended the version that has G, PM, and JT in the title.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you the visual narrative for starters. So, the piece opens with a shot of a red seed. It's trapped on rocky ground and has no hope of growing. The surrounding environment is lush yet treeless in the Rocky Mountain hillside. It's a sunny spring day. However, a young boy, around 10 years old, comes scampering into the scene. He notices the lonely red seed. Simultaneously concerned and curious, he picks it up and plants it into some rich nearby soil, using a piece of flint. He then leaves the camera, exiting left. As the seasons go by, shown via time-lapse, the seed then grows up into a tree, which disperses more seeds growing into more trees. Eventually, there is a forest full of life on the mountain. At this point, many years later, the young boy makes his return, entering the scene from camera left. However, he is all grown up like the tree he planted. He is accompanied by his son. The two of them gaze at the majestic surroundings. It's spring once again. The man picks up a piece of flint and approaches the original tree that he planted. He then marks the tree with TEDxVail, using the piece of flint. The camera then zooms towards the marked up text, placing it at the center of the shot. The text on the tree then fades into the TEDxVail logo in a neutral black background, thus ending the piece. And that's the extent of the visual narrative. Now, I do have some suggestions about, or tentative suggestions about, visuals and aesthetics. Now, due to the simplicity of the concept, give or take, 45 seconds, I would approximate, a variety of visual styles can be foreseeably executed. Traditional or digital aesthetics could work because it's more of a simple piece. However, the goal should be to deliver something unique. So I reasoned that maybe we could do something that sort of follows a chalkboard aesthetic. In other words, contours would look like they were made of chalk on a chalkboard, and that would be useful for sort of reflecting learning through TED as well as a youthful sort of aesthetic. Another way of keeping things visually interesting would be to employ a distinct color scheme for each distinct season. So summer would have warmer colors, obviously. Winter would have colder colors. Spring would be vibrant, and fall would pair warm colors with desaturated grayer skies. So color scheme would be important. And that's more or less the breakdown. I can also give you some sonic recommendations as well. But I don't know, what's your feedback?
Please do continue if you have anything you'd like to share.
Well, for starters, I'm more of a visual student, right? I don't deal with music and narrative, but nonetheless, these are my recommendations, or my sonic vision, if you will. So when the piece opens up, I'm envisioning something very simple, where we should sort of reflect on the silence and the ambience of nature. So at most, when the shot opens up, you would hear maybe wind, chirping of birds. Stuff like that. At most, musically, you would have a very simple establishment of the tone. And so after that, when the child approaches, it could be a boy or a girl, what you will, the musical composition is still simple. It's generally playful in tone, but transitions to a more emotional mood when the boy considers what to do with the seed. After that, he plants the seed, and after that, the seasons go by. There's a time lapse, and I'm guessing, or well, not guessing, but advising, if you will, that the music accelerates. It becomes more layered, and there's more energy. So there's a sonic buildup that sort of reflects the growth of nature over the course of the time lapse. Sound effects can also exaggerate the change in seasons as well. So, for instance, if there's a blizzard, you can exaggerate that sonically by having large gusts of wind in the audio track. And then finally, at the end of that montage, at the end of the time lapse, there is a musical resolution where we are able to analyze the forest and observe the forest in its full glory in spring. And so there should be a resolution. Things should quiet down once again. That would set up the entrance for the boy returning as a man with his son, or the character, I guess, since gender still hasn't been determined yet by you guys. And so we should have the spring season sound effects, sort of tying it up like a button that we had at the beginning of the piece, where things were very subdued, and we would still get that reflection of nature and its quietness and its ambience, if you will. And so then the man picks up the piece of flint, and he approaches the tree again. And so at this point, the musical composition is still bare bones and simple until the marked text on the tree is revealed with TEDxVail. So once that happens, I think the musical theme should reassert itself. And then finally, we have added musical gravity when the logo is revealed, and then resolve quickly, going loud and then quickly going soft and dying again. And that's more or less what I have to offer you guys on behalf of the team as well.
Okay. Thank you so much. Corinne?
That's fantastic. I really like, I guess I'm not your technical speak, but your sonic vision. I think that really plays up both the, your script, but also just the feeling that we want people to build as they watch this. The one thing I wonder is you said a chalkboard aesthetic. Is there any way that we can get this background to be more Vail? I understand that it's got a general feeling, but I really want this to resonate with what's here.
Okay.
And I don't know what that would take, if you need pictures from here or something to key you in on what's iconic.
I see. Maybe for Vail, I don't know, one suggestion off the top of my head might be to rely heavily on textures from Vail. So maybe things like tree bark, or I don't know, I'm sure there's a texture that sort of exemplifies the Rocky Mountains, Rocky texture or something like that. Maybe there's a way we could employ that.
The bark of aspen is fairly iconic. Do you know what that looks like? It's kind of papery white, and it has little eye holes where the branches have fallen off.
What's the name of it?
Aspen?
Oh, aspen. Oh, yeah. Isn't that your competitor? No.
We're not competitors in TEDx. We don't compete. We all contribute. So.
But we do want to stand out. So I'm trying to look for this screen share.
So any other recommendations, or?
I think it's very interesting, the concept. And there you go.
This was in the summer.
You guys.
Ah, wow.
And those are all throughout Beaver Creek and Vail. There's a lot of wildflowers too.
Mm-hmm.
John gets an 84 per series of presentation.
Oh, thank you, Julius. All right, thank you for your consideration.
All right. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the third script that we chose as that would recommend will come from Kyle. And the file name has KJJD in the main.
You guys ready?
For shot, in case you're wondering.
Ready?
I'm going to put that full screen so you can see that one as well. You have that, guys? You see that? The aspen in the snow?
Yeah.
What? I can also just do this. This so you can see it. Hold on. There we go. This is also part of it. Can you see that?
Yeah. Wow.
It's cold out here right now.
Wow.
Wow, that's incredible.
Wait, go left.
Is that okay?
It's
All right.
Wow.
But how would I still
No,
picture
it's all
talk?
auto. Because I can hear someone talking.
You can hear the acceptance of the camera on the microphone. So she laughed and it picked up. Not good.
Okay.
Ready for me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so concept behind this was the shifting of seasons. I would say that that's like the most broad way to say it, so I'll just go ahead and read. Okay? The spot begins on a semi-close overhead view of our nature/veil character, who's a skier. The skis have a small red X brand on them. He or she is heading down a mountain. The path in front of them is covered in red leaves and no snow, indicating fall. They are bringing the snow with them, turning the environment white a few yards in front of them, and all the way behind them. They are skiing through the frame diagonally, starting from the top left. We then cut to a mountain biker, who's our technology character, also from an overhead view. The mountain bike also has a small red X brand on it. She is riding down a trail covered in dry plants and leaves. As she moves, she is leaving behind a trail of half-transparent scientific equations, which are spreading and transforming the dead foliage into live green plants. She is riding through the frame diagonally, starting from top right. We then cut to a kayaker, our design character, who is alone in a kayak. Kayak has a small red X brand on it. It is a unique design with 8 paddles. Each time they row the paddle, all 8 paddles row in sync. It's rafting down a dry riverbed, and as he or she moves forward, the water falls in a few yards in front of him and leaves behind a winding riverbed. He is rafting through the frame diagonally, starting from the bottom right. Lastly, we cut to our entertainment characters, a group of 5 to 7 people flying big yellow hang gliders through smog-filled air. As the gliders pass through the air, the smog clears, revealing the forest underneath, which is a combination of beautiful yellow and red leaf aspen trees. The group is flying through the frame diagonally, starting from the bottom left. After showing each of the 4 characters for 5 seconds, we cycle through their stories again for only 3 seconds each, with the camera zooming out, showing the characters slightly farther away. We then run the cycle again farther away for 2 seconds, and then again farther away for only 1 second each. In each cycle, the characters become less apparent and the environment becomes more prominent. The 1 second cycle will not have the characters in it. It will only be the white, green, blue, and orange rapidly moving in their directions. After the 1 second cycle, the camera will be fully zoomed out, revealing that all of the colors are charging towards each other in the shape of a massive X. The technology, design, entertainment, and nature/veil streams collide, and the X turns red from the center out. Once the X is fully red, the environment fades away, leaving behind only the red X. The word TED then appears, followed by the word veil.
I love that.
That's really very creative.
Fantastic, because it ties in a lot of different pieces of Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that resonating up here really well.
Mm-hmm.
What about your music or FX?
So, for my music idea, I wanted to start the piece out very simple. So we have the 4 characters, and I wanted to make kind of different instrumentation for each one that would be inspired by the sport that they're doing. And so each time you'd show the character you'd hear their instrumentation, and it would get more and more intense as the cycles get shorter and shorter, and they would also start to blend together. And then in the final scene, it would be fully blended together, and we would have a really nice theme to finish off the piece, and kind of just cadence on the TEDxVail logo.
So what do you see the graphics looking like? Is there a sort of style that you're looking, or a feel that you're looking to get?
I didn't really think about the style much.
We thought about kind of drawn, like almost like a digital painting, I guess. Yeah, so kind of like almost like a painting type of quality, but really nice colors. Because we thought that the colors are just representing the seasons and the TED and Veil clearly. So kind of detailed painting, I guess, would be a good way to describe it.
I like that. It gives it a nice artistic flair. We're really into creativity, so I like that.
Do you have any questions?
How long is this piece?
1 minute.
Did we lose Kat?
Oh, okay. Oh no.
Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, where'd you go?
Some weird feedback.
Yeah, that was tripping me out.
Oh, okay.
She was calling. No, I saw her reading it.
Okay. Alright, talk to you later.
Switched to audio when you were down.
Sorry, I had her face covered up with something. I didn't realize she dropped out. Her computer died.
Oh.
That's why she was calling.
Yep, computer ER.
What's that? Oh, yeah. No, I think it was just battery. She just had the motherboard replaced for some reason.
Oh.
Oh, wait, maybe I was supposed to put her on speaker.
Maxwell.
Okay. Alright. Kat, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you guys hear her?
Yeah.
Okay, low tech. Let's see. Go ahead.
Can you tell me your name again? It was. Hello?
Oh, Kyle.
Again?
Sorry, I couldn't understand you. My
He
name's
wants to
Kyle.
know your name again.
Kyle.
Kyle.
Kyle. So Kyle, were you describing the music application to Corinne?
That was hard to understand.
Yeah, I don't think having you on speakerphone talking to him is going to work. But yes, he described the music, how it's going to be specific to the different activities. Then it'll cycle through, and then at the end, it'll come to combine one final musical piece.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Go ahead and ask any questions, and then as soon as I get back in, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll just listen to what you have to say.
Okay, that'll work. I think that's good for now. Do you have any questions? I like the fact that it's really tying into what we do here as far as activities, and you're showing off some of Veil. But I really love the fact that it's all coming together on the end and just popping out the X.
Awesome.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Reading? That's fine. Yeah, we did. Still last week on Monday?
We are being encouraging, Tony.
So what?
So Next up, actually, whichever is your first file, you can just tell us which you have at hand, and then.
Okay. I have MW script dash